Hello everyone, this is ThePandaPhotographer, and I do apologize for the audio. I'm not feeling too good today, but I'm super late on the live stream. I'm just under the weather today, but I really want to show you guys an image that I have taken, and let me show you how I improve the image quality, but also bring the image to life in Lightroom. And like I said, like I always will say in all my videos, I am no expert or professional. I'm a self-taught photographer, and I've been doing it for a long time now. And if you guys be so kind to just support the channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing, I really do appreciate it. The audio that you're listening to right now is coming from the H4n Pro's microphone. I'm not using my normal microphone. I just don't feel like putting the stuff together today. I'm not really in the best condition, and I'm not feeling very good right now. I'm just feeling really sick, and yeah, ooh, it's just feeling really nauseous. But I just wanted to show you something that I want someone. Wow, can't even think. I really want to emphasize, guys, that when I use Lightroom or Nik Collection together, I am creating magic. I'm trying to take a plain, dull, raw file image and bring it to life. But I really wanted to tell you guys that I'm really passionate about photography. It's an addiction. It's worse than drugs, to be honest, because take it from my point of view. Okay, and the reason why the webcam is not on is because you don't want to see what I look like. I look like shit. But anyway, I wanted to create images that will amaze people. I'm not trying to impress everyone. I'm just trying to create images that will have someone get up and motivate them to go out and shoot, no matter what kind of scenery they are located in. But I really want and I hope that you guys are passionate about this particular field that I do and what you do as a photographer. But with that said, not sure why my intro lags the way it does. Strange. But guys, check this out. And I'm gonna paste it right here. So here is the before on my right side of the screen, and here is my after on the left side of the screen. Oh, I'm so sick that my migraine headache is really messing with my thinking process. But I'm dedicated to just bring you guys the content. But you can see how I took something. I didn't even use a grade card this time. Normally I use a grade card to correct any white balance issues before I start shooting. This goes to every single picture. And it is key that you bring a portable grade card with you at all times, and that's going to help fix white balance issues before you shoot. Yes, why I'm OCD like that? Because it means a lot to get the colors correct, and when you edit and you process these colors, and the image quality too. And apparently I wanted to get the blue cloud, but I also wanted to get the frog, the winter frozen frog that froze up all these trees. And you can see from where we was to zoom in. Actually, let me zoom in right there. Why is this image zooming in more than the other? That's strange. You can see where, I shot this with the Pateron SP 90mm micro lens, right? I shot this with this lens. Now, I used the Pateron SP90 micro lens for my portraits, landscapes, micro photography, B-rolls, whatever, time lapses, la, okay? But I really wanted to tell you guys that, like, no matter what kind of gear you have, it doesn't matter, just take the shot. And then I know in the camera it may seem a little bit not pleasing to you at first, but it's always when you edit your photos, it's when it starts to look so much pleasing to everyone else's eye and your eye. Who cares about what someone else is going to think in the first place? It's your art. Do what you can. Don't listen to anyone that tells you, oh, that's a plain dull image. But I guarantee you, I can take that plain dull image and make it come to life. I will guarantee you that. But as you can see, I set up my temperature at around about 6700 Kelvin. My tint is about +10. And I use Adobe Vivid in this particular category, but I also adjust the exposure, and I underexpose it by 2 stops. Okay, it was a little bit underexposed because of the highlights and the exposure, but I also did the contrast because I want to fix that contrast in the collection. And I did the highlights down to -85, shadows +2. Didn't want to increase the shadows because I was going to use Detail Extractor, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to create this image. So don't worry, I'm going to show you how I want to make this image. So, and you can see all the settings. Now, you can see I didn't mess with any of the tone curve or anything like that because I'm going to do that in the collection. But I did mess with the hue. I did mess with the saturation, and I did mess with the luminance. And I did also correct sharpness and noise reduction. And click remove color aberrations, blah 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 blah. I shot the Pateron SP90 as you can see it. No big deal, no biggie. So, and I also did the upright transform, which is auto, and it always corrects it now. But here's where things get interesting. Let me show you how I process this. You could go in and add this photo. It's just wait for the collection to boot up. So, and I really wanted to show you guys in the real world. I should have just. I like my other microphone better than the H4. I don't know. Maybe I need to play around with the H4n Pro's microphone a little bit better. I'm pretty sure I can tweak it a little bit better to make it sound a little bit better. But okay, so first thing I did was add vibrance and warmth to the image. So without it, this is how it looks. You see? You see that subtle difference? But pay attention to the, I guess this is, well, the center of the image where you see the reflection of the sky and this puddle of wet snow and water. You see how it looks blue now and the sky looks blue and the building's not reflecting that golden hour effect. And now when I add the vibrance and some warmth to it, now I can add a little bit of warmth if I wanted to, which I am going to do just about there. But how I actually did this one is I'll be going here. Let's see here. I think let's do this one. And then I'm going to add a little bit of that warmth, just a little bit, 5%. And then I'm going to increase the saturation just a bit. Just like that. Because I already applied saturation, I messed with the lumens and the hue and the saturation and Lightroom. Next step is what I did was add a detail extractor. I know this is a the image, but to me it's not. What is actually elimination? I can't even pronounce that word. It's so bad. I never can. Because someone made a comment about the video that I made about how the 30% increase, the 30% detail increase that Adobe Premiere has implemented with Lightroom. I didn't see the difference. How that's, someone pointed out that's kind of different from what I'm actually trying to target, which is, or to have a discussion or debate about. And I feel like it's the same thing. They are trying to manipulate the algorithm to think that, hey, add some more grain or add some more sharpness to the image so it looks better. I think it's the same thing. And what I did was I add extreme to the image. Okay? And then I thought about it, I was like, maybe that's too extreme. And then I was like, let's pull back a little bit. Let's do just a strong, large detail. And I'm going to leave it the way it is for right now. But the next step what I went in here and also did was I went into weddings here. I went into white neutralizer, white neutralizer. And what I did was I fixed that with the wedding preset, which, and I'm going to show you the difference. You see that blue tint that is actually still casting in the image? It subtly goes away. Pay attention to the trees, pay attention to the foreground, pay attention to the shadows. You see? Now it's become more vibrant and more of that golden hour and the morning hour. And then I decided to make sure that I'm not doing too much and go back to travel. Oops, sorry. My mistake. Go back to nature, sorry. And I added a auto enhance pro contrast. Now I did adjust it just a bit. Boom. And then I added a nice little, here we go, glow to this image. Actually, did I add subtle? I think I added strong. And then I bring up that warmth just a bit. But bring down the glow just about 40%. And the saturation, just leave it alone. And this is how I created the image. So everything else was pretty much done and corrected in Lightroom, but there were certain other features, key elements that I have explained in this video, what I did to actually bring this photo into life. And it only takes a few minutes to do this. So it should not take someone all day to do it or an hour to do something like that. But it's what it is, and as you can see, the histogram has now changed. So if we look at the original file, you can see that the histogram, the exposure is just peaking over. We don't want that. We don't want that to be peaking too high at all. Or we don't want this area here or the highlights to be peaking too much. So if we were to go back to this image, you can see that this is fairly better than before. And you can see that in this image, well, it's almost identical. Almost, kind of. But you can see where I made some adjustments. And you can see where that exposure now has came from peaking too high but down to low, and the highlights is now down low, but that exposure, that white, it's high because of the snow, the ice. And it was a very interesting morning that for some reason, like, this rush of cold fog came in with this very frigid cold air, froze up these trees to an icicle pop, and I thought it was gorgeous. And with the A77, I took the picture, even though I wasn't able to control the exposure, and that's the problem I'm having with this new camera that I got used, is that the buttons on the camera don't work. And I thought I could be able to switch the PCB board from my A77 to, and then or I don't know, I was trying to make it work because the buttons won't work, but I've just found out that when I opened the camera, the PCB board is different from the Mark II. So yeah, just a heads up on that. But anyway, as you can see, it shot this at f4, 1/250th per second, handheld, manually shot, 90mm times 1.5 gives you a focal length of 135, ISO 400, and we look 1:1. You can see a little grain if you want to be a pixel peeper, for all you pixel peepers out there. But look at the background. Look how the buildings are structured. Now, if you take a look from, let's actually do this instead. Take this image. Yep. Do you see that there's more, the shadow's been lifted in the background, there's more detail in the background in the after image and then the before? You can see, you see this window here, you see these two windows on the after and the before. Now you can't see in the before image, you cannot see the windows very clearly, but with that detail extractor you can get a lot of more detail without compromising noise. And this is why I use the collection for all of my editing processes, but not portraits. I don't use it for portraits. Yeah, sometimes I could use it for portraits. Well, I do use the collection for portraits when I want to add like a pro contrast to the portrait and adjust it, and that's about it. But yeah, you can see there's more shadows up here. The shadows are wrung out up here, more detail in this building, more detail and reflection in these windows up here on this building. What else you can see? You can see the windows now on the after. Oh, I'm so sick. Oh man, why does my stomach hurt? Oh, yeah, you can see more detail in the building right here on my far right than on the before image. You can't see the building's details or windows really clearly, and like even if you zoom in, you can see that you can see the windows clearly, and you can see more detail from that. And if we zoom in here on the window, you can see there's more of the window and focus, more detail, less fog. But I do wanted to keep that fog that was coming rushing in from the lake into the image. So, and if you take a look here, look how much detail comes out of that little puddle. Really nice. Take a look again. Take a look again. Bring it down just a bit so you guys can compare it. You can see more detail here, but it's grain noise. But this is 1:1, ladies and gentlemen. You can see grain in this image too at ISO 400. So not bad, not bad. Bringing just a regular image and improving image quality and bringing it to life. So anyway, you guys enjoy watching this and hearing me talk about this on the H4n Pro's microphone. Please let me know how the audio sounds. I'm using it at 120 degrees instead of 90 degrees. But with that said, everyone, this is the Panda Photographer. If you guys want to support what I do as a travel photographer, you can. There's a PayPal donation link down in the description below. But make sure you also can follow me on social media and my website at 616studios.com. I have tutorials and stuff like that on my website. So how to protect your work, should you work for free, portrait photography tips, photography, night photography, astrophotography, understanding nurture density filters, understanding flash, and a lot more. You can see my galleries up here as well. Check me out on Instagram at ThePandaPhotographer. I just post this up just before this live stream. So, and if you want to actually find me, why this come up the way it did, that's unfortunate. This is not planned. Oh well, who cares? See, I'm feeling sick and I'm still trying to bring content. That addiction. But find me on LinkedIn if you want to join forces and, as a business opportunity. I would love, appreciate it, anyone to contact me. But with that said, everyone, this is the Panda Photographer from 616 Studios. All my images are copyrighted and trademarked now. So, well, they've been copyrighted, but now the trademark, the Panda Photographer, is not trademarked. But anyway, you guys take care. Happy shooting.